Good morning, viewers. Welcome to Melo Live. Today, we are privileged to have with us in the studio, we have David Wanza. David Wanza is a professional counselor with more than 1 year practice experience. Currently, he is working as a consultant psychotherapist at Thrive Wellness Hub. Today, with me, David will be talking about depression. So, David, welcome to the program.
Okay, thank you so much for having me. It's a privilege to be here. It's an honor to be here.
Now, it's good to see you. I think some time back we had spoken over a topic. I think we were talking about should be suicide. I think, if I'm not mistaken, early this year. But it's always good to have you. So maybe we can go right straight into the program. David, what is mental health?
Okay, thank you very much. So I'll try and simplify the term. Okay, so mental health basically is a state of mind. It's a state of awareness. Okay, so a state of well-being where we understand our limitations, we understand our strengths. And with knowing these strengths and weaknesses, we're able to go about our day-to-day responsibilities, our day-to-day functioning, and being able to meet our objectives, meet the demands that are expected of us on a daily basis. So in a nutshell, that's what mental health is.
Thank you very much for that simple and straightforward kind of description towards mental health. Then, as we are going today, we are speaking about depression.
Yes.
Depression, I'm sure happens in all forms or different kinds of forms. So, could you just kindly just tell us again what is depression?
Okay, so depression is a mental health problem, or we can say a psychological disorder, in which is mostly seen in signs of severe sadness. Okay, severe sadness that leads to maybe an increase or loss in appetite, increase or loss in sleep, and it's basically familiarized with problems around low energy, problems around feeling hopeless about life. Okay, problems around once enjoying certain activities, once enjoying to be around people, but all of a sudden you are socially withdrawn, you are isolated, and when you're invited to do these activities that you once enjoyed, you are not for the idea, you are against it, you don't really want to participate in it anymore. So that is what we can understand depression as being, the severe, intense sadness that comes over someone.
Yeah, thank you very much, David. In case you've just joined us, today we have David with us, who is a psychotherapist and currently working as a consultant at Thrive Wellness Hub. And what we're talking about today, we're talking about depression. Well, if you want to be part and parcel of this program, we will be seeing much of David going forward. If you want to partner or be part of this program on how you can sponsor, advertise, and everything, there are numbers scrolling down the screen there. Get in touch with us, and definitely we will give you more information about that. Now, this is just the first of the series of the many programs we're going to be having, and today we're talking about depression. So, David, what are the root causes? What really causes depression?
Okay, this is a big one. So a number of different things could possibly cause depression. Okay, we're looking at factors like daily stressors. Stressors are of which are incidents or events that occur during the day that may cause us some kind of fear, that cause us some kind of anxiety. Imagine you're late for an interview. Imagine you're late for a presentation at work. Imagine you're late for an exam, and or you are stuck in traffic and you really have to meet a business partner. These are some of the stresses that we go about on a daily basis. Maybe you gave someone money, you are there having Kongole, and it's month end and you have rentals to pay and the person has not yet come through. So basically these kinds of stressors, also relating to be it relationships, which is a common trend at the moment. Maybe a partner chooses to leave you, or the aspect of infidelity and cheating on you. So these are daily things that we go through, and these things may cause depression. Apart from that, there are also events that are more like life personal events that could be related to a traumatic experience. We have an individual that maybe was molested as a child, that was raped as a child, or maybe they witnessed someone get hurt, they witnessed someone die. And so sometimes these severe life events may also be root causes of depression, just to name a few. So it's very important to note that we all go through certain stressors, we all go through certain life events. And so it's not mainly the event or the stressor that is the root cause, but also we have to look at how we as individuals are thinking about that event, right? So it's important to know that sometimes the same event can happen to two different people, but they can have completely different reactions. So when it comes to mental health and psychology, we look at what we call cognitive distortions. And these cognitive distortions are unhelpful ways that we as human beings sometimes think. I'll give you an example. A woman is cheated on by a man, and now when she looks at a man, what is registered in the head is all men are dogs. That is what we call an overgeneralization. She has not met all the men in the world, but particularly this one man who acted in a very silly way, disappointed her. And all of a sudden, now she sees all men as the same, all men as dogs. So, in the way we think sometimes, this is also a factor in causing and leading us into mental illness like depression, like anxiety, like suicidal ideation, and so on and so forth. I would also add in there substance use, be it alcohol or drugs. So you and I can have the same situation, sir. And let's say we both lose our jobs. For me, I say it's the end of the world. I'm going to drink my sorrows away. But for you, you say, I have lost this one. What skills do I have? What can I do to make a difference for my life? And you pursue something. The same thing has happened to us, but we're thinking about it in different ways. So, what am I saying? When it comes to causes of depression, it could be stressors of life, it could be severe events that happen in our lives, but also the way we think about life, the way we think about those events is equally a contributing factor. And that's the benefit of psychological services that we have with Thrive. That's the benefit of spreading awareness, that people will know that they can be empowered with skills that can help them think more helpful ways as they go through life and daily stresses and events that have happened to them.
Yeah, thank you very much, David, for that. So you touched a little bit about because that was actually going to be my next question. You were asking about do we have treatment centers in this kind of thing, and in all that, maybe before we go into the treatment centers and all other services which maybe Thrive Hub offers, how can one treat depression?
Okay, so I would address four different ways. One would be psychological services, just meaning seeing a professional therapist, professional psychologist. The other would be support groups. So this is a group of people with similar problems trying to navigate these problems together by providing support for one another, encouragement for one another, sharing how they overcame or are enduring that problem. The third thing would be family networks, or should I say social networks. These are your family, these are your friends. And lastly, I would say self-care. Self-care is basically taking care of yourself. Now, let me try and touch on these four. I'd started with professional help, professional counseling or psychotherapy. So this is where you have an outpatient treatment, meaning you're not maybe in a hospital or healthcare facility, but in maybe a confine of a private practice, or be it a phone call therapy. Given COVID and the pandemic, psychological services have had to innovate. We may not be able to meet you face to face because of restrictions. At least now the world is opening up. We as Zambia are opening up. But there's also the use and the initiative of using a phone call. Have a call with a professional therapist and talk about your problems. Get empowered with skills on how to navigate and work around those problems and problem solve them. Okay, so talking to a therapist, a mental health therapist, a neutral environment, free area where there's no bias, there's no judgment, and you get empowered and you get assisted depending on what kind of problems you're having. I had already touched a bit on the group therapy or support groups, where people with similar problems come together, encourage one another, support one another, and help each other navigate their specific problem. So in this case, be it depression. So professional to help you with depression, a support group to help you with depression. The other two would be social networks. You've got family, you've got friends. We as human beings are social beings. We need one another. We thrive on interactions. We thrive on sharing experiences, sharing moments together. That's what life's about. Look at Facebook. I mean, we are sharing, we are liking, we are laughing, we are commenting. Mwewantu is a page that I'm always looking at, and I laugh and I see some of the comments that are coming. Oh my goodness, Zambians are funny. So social networks, very important. Your friends, your family, talk to them, share with them, interact with them. You need them. We need one another. And lastly, self-care. What is self-care? Self-care is our activities that we find meaning in. Okay, self-care are activities that are important to our well-being. What can these be? These could be basically just taking a shower in the morning, ensuring that you're eating enough food for the day, you are getting enough sleep. Okay, and now other activities within self-care are now more personal, enjoying activities. So sometimes we have work, which is stressful. Sometimes we are home, which is stressful. And to deal with stress, sometimes we need a third environment that is completely neutral. There is no stress. There is no demands put on us, but it's a place we can exercise. It's a place we can enjoy. It's a place we can breathe and think. And what examples are these? For me personally, football is my third space. Football is something I do for self-care. I play it, I watch it, I talk about it. It's very important to me. Exercise beyond football could be aerobics, could be some people do in yoga. I don't even know how to do that. It could be just taking a jog, it could be exercising, it could be taking a drive, it could be reading a book, it could be praying to the Lord God Almighty. Whatever is important to you, ensure that this is put in your day-to-day activities, because it's very important. It's very important for your mental health. It's very important for your well-being. So these are the 4 areas that I would say are very the treatment approaches: psychological services, professional help, support groups where people with similar problems come together to help each other, social networks, our families, our friends. That's why we're there. We are social beings. We need one another. And lastly, our self-care, the meaningful activities that bring us fulfillment in life, that give us meaning in life, that help us take care of our mental health. Those would be the 4 areas.
No, thank you very much, David, for that. In case you've just joined us today, we're joined by David Wanza. David Wanza is a psychotherapist and currently is working as a consultant at Thrive Wellness Hub. So as we're going towards the end of the program, David, those services you mentioned, they're accessible, right? You're saying we can access them via online and everything, such kind of that. And if maybe you can just tell our viewers, where are you found, and do you need to make an appointment, for example? How do they get in touch with you?
Okay, thank you very much. So The private practice that I'm working with, consulting with, is called Thrive Wellness Hub. Okay. We provide affordable, cultural sensitive, and effective psychological services for our community and the world at large. COVID has been a bittersweet pill, and it has opened us up to other countries to provide psychological services. It is very important to work on your mental health, to be empowered. It is not a sign of weakness, it is not a sign of shame. The main thing relating to mental health services is that there's a lot of stigma around being looked down on, being mistreated, okay, being seen as abnormal, which is wrong and is not the case. So we are providing capacity to provide these services, and even with the help of Melo Media, they're providing us platforms to spread awareness about these things. So please reach out. So Thrive Wellness Hub, we have our contact number, which is 0967 281 923. I'll repeat it again, 0967 281 923. We provide a number of different services, of which include what I mentioned: face-to-face therapy. In this case, could be at our offices or could be in the comfort of your own home. Of course, masked up, of course, sanitizing our hands, that we come into your space, we come into your home, the convenience of your home, to share and to talk about life, to empower you with skills. Okay. And what kind of course, before I go on, the phone therapy. Because of COVID and its restrictions, we've innovated to providing teletherapy, phone therapy. Just call us on your phone, set up an appointment, and we are able to have therapy. So we deal with all kinds of issues related to substance use, as I mentioned before, suicidal thoughts, depression, like what we're talking about today, anxiety as well. Okay. And this could be for the average Zambian. Okay, this could be for someone going to work. And to talk about work, we are talking about, we also have we also have services related to employee adjustment programs. There is a lot of stress in the workplace. There is a lot of assistance employees need beyond financial and physical needs. They have psychological needs as well. And so we are coming in to provide a service for the corporate world to help these people navigate the stresses of life and bring out their maximum potential and maximum output in the work environment. We are helping adolescents, we are helping women, we are helping men, we are helping families. So this is family therapy, a career guidance for the youths. This is also women empowerment. We call it Women of Valor. And so when you look at our number, which is on WhatsApp, we have a catalog of which will show you these various services that we offer, the prices of which they are given at. And please feel free to reach out, spread the word. You may not need them, but you may know someone that needs them. Okay. So please feel free to spread the word, share the number, and let's get to talking. Let's get to making mental health a normal conversation to have, without the stigma, without the fear, without the shame. Because in as much as we want to change the world, we cannot change the world when we ourselves are not changed. And we are doing this by providing therapy.
Thank you very much. No, viewers, there you got it. In case you just joined us, we're going towards the end of the program today. With us, we have David, and we're discussing depression. David, as we are closing up the program now, do you have any statistics, for example, maybe just in brief, starting from maybe worldwide, in Africa and in Zambia, in terms of the kind of depression, like the population, what kind of percentage is affected by that kind of problem?
Okay, I'll just start by saying this. I'll start with the global statistics on youths itself, okay, even beyond just the entire population in the world. The youth population is about 1 billion plus, okay, 1 billion plus. And within this 1 billion plus, we have what we call vulnerable youths. Why am I talking about vulnerable youths? Vulnerable youths are actually at a higher risk of getting some kind of mental health disorder. Why do I say this? Vulnerable youths are categorized as youths that are unable to meet, let's say, 3 meals a day, unable to live above, let's say, is it $1 to $10 a day of their normal day-to-day living. Vulnerable youths are youth that are unable to access education. Vulnerable youths are people that are possibly grown up or have been brought up in an incomplete home where not the mother and the father are together. Maybe there's one parent, maybe there are no parents. Okay, so vulnerable youths are children or are youths that are within, unfortunately, the third world arena or third world countries, okay, of which Zambia is one of a third world country. Okay, so if 50% of the 1 billion youths globally are at risk of having challenges relating to mental health, within that vulnerable bracket, we have a very high percentage of that within the Zambian nation. So we're about 30, is it 13 million within Zambia, right? So you try and navigate that and bring it down to our 13 million and look at half of that population, or majority of which we are youths. So let's say half of the 13 million, which is about what, 6 million, 7 million, 6.5 million, right, are at risk or at higher risk of mental health disorders or mental health problems. So what am I saying? The margins are extremely high. So risk doesn't necessarily mean you are in the situation. It just means the likelihood of it happening to you is higher than the next person. So we can say every out of two people, every one in two youths is at risk of having mental health problems, is at risk of having mental health related disorders. So we have to be extremely diligent on providing services. We have to be extremely diligent in making these things accessible, in making people aware of the services that are there to help them, to assist them, to empower them, to help them navigate life. I don't know if my punching of numbers was good enough for our statisticians out there and mathematicians, but that's how best I could put it. And it just shows the real importance of mental health in our society, in our country, and in the world.
Thank you very much. Of course, those statistics are very useful. I think this topic, you cannot exhaust it within just a short period of time. Like I had alluded to earlier on, we are going to have a series of such programs. In case you want to be part and parcel of those programs, please, there are numbers scrolling down the screen there. Melo Media would be happy to guide and give you more information on how we can partner together and tackle this global kind of a problem in terms of depression. So David, my director, is just reminding me that we are almost done with the program. So I think in conclusion, under 30 seconds, your concluding remarks.
Okay, my concluding remarks are that as human beings, let's be kind to one another. Okay, just because someone next to you has a struggle that you think is small, it doesn't mean we should belittle it. Okay, you never know what your neighbor is going through. You never know what you may say to them, how it can affect them. So let's be kind to one another in this life. We are all weak. We are all in need. We all need one another. So as we are putting in effort to be kind to one another, let's also learn that we have services available. Let's normalize talking about mental health and let's encourage one another. And may the good Lord God Almighty, who advocates for the transforming of our mind, the renewing of our mind so that we may be transformed, run with us and help us to empower ourselves, to change our society, to change our community as we normalize the mental health conversation. That's what I would say.
Thank you very much, David, for being with us, and we thank you for sparing time to just appear in this show. Definitely, as I said, we are going to have more of such shows to our viewers out there. Thank you very much for paying attention. Thank you very much for all your messages. And for those who want to be part and parcel of the program, please get in touch with us and we will share with you what we have and see how we can work together. So with that, I think we'll see you next time. And thank you, David, once more for coming, and bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.